And we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey's late show. Brad, I got to do this, man. I just feel like I'm in the wrong spot. Sorry. I got to be on the right. Welcome to the late show. It's not really that late, but it is Sunday, so we decided to do about an hour early. Time got pushed forward, so it really feels like 7 anyway. So with me, as always, my awesome co-host, field producer of the travel show, Bradley Hatcher. How are you, sir?
I'm a little sleepy right now, Kerry. How are you doing?
It's too early to be sleepy. I'm great.
I know it. That's age, I guess. And I have him right there. So this is Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey. Yeah, the whole age thing, you get zero sympathy from me for that. So.
I know.
Well, our guest for this evening, they are members of the team. It's 2 of the last 4 that you guys haven't met yet. Miss Stavie Perez and Mark Kinchell. Mark was part of the expedition last year. Actually went camping around with us, came to the house, and with everybody else when we got shut down everywhere. And was glad to have him back for this year. Absolutely. And Stavie is going to be one of our medics. She's also works for the parks in Florida. We won't say exactly where you work unless you just want to.
No, not at all. Please don't.
No worries. So 2 more good members. We had Jeff Townsend, who is part of our safety and security. Maybe he'll join us in a little bit. I kind of joked that he probably forgot to set his clock forward, so we may see him in an hour. But Jeff Townsend, by the way, his mother, if nobody heard, we announced the other night that his mother had fell. She's home, doing good. Everything's A-okay. So thank you everyone for thoughts and prayers for Jeff and his mom, and just reaching out to him. I know a lot of you did. It was great. But
we're gonna appreciate that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna do the standard interview thing here, I guess, and then we'll just take some questions from the chat. This is the last show that I'm gonna be able to do for a while, probably 2 or 3 weeks. But Daniela will continue on with the researcher's report, and so sorry. We're not, it has nothing to do with anything but work. So, and we are going to be preparing for Florida here pretty soon, within the next couple of weeks. So Stavie, we'll start with you since we haven't really heard from you officially. What made you want to do this? Well, what we're asking people to do, and it's a tall order and an arduous task and a lot to ask of anyone. What made you want to do this?
Well, I think like everybody else, I've had, first let me excuse the background noise. I'm outside, so if you hear an airplane. But no, I've had my own past experiences. I have my story. I've worked for parks for 16 years, and I was in the Army before that. And I mean, there's been times that I've been out, and twice that 2 stories that I have where I've been screamed at. I've heard it. I know something's out there. I know that it exists. I just haven't seen it for myself. And I think that's my personal, my goal, my wish, I guess, if you want to say. But people need to know what's out there. Like I said, I work in parks, and there's a lot of stuff out there. And people need to be aware. And this is, I think, the biggest subject. Hey, there he is.
Yeah, well, he made it. Hey, Jeff, welcome, buddy.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you, boss. I don't know if you got your volume down or what. But while Jeff's working on his technical stuff, now Stavie, you've been charged with several things to do in this. I know you're going to be helping back up Jason for medical stuff, and yep, we can hear you now, Jeff. I think.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, we got you.
Here he is.
What?
Hello.
Hey, hey, Jeff. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see y'all, man. Oh, gents. See,
hey,
Jeff.
Hey,
hello,
Jeff.
Brad. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. Late, but
Glad
great.
you're here. Glad you're
Me
here.
too, man.
Well, so officially, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just go ahead. Go ahead, Kerry.
I was just going to say officially after this, Barry Browning will be the only one that hasn't come on. For those of you who don't know Barry, he is a researcher. I've got very few actual researchers on the team. He's been with Mark Newbill a lot. He's really good, really reliable, knows what he's doing, doesn't talk a bunch of BS about what he knows, and he's probably one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. So very, and he's a Mississippi boy. So, you know, I gotta just on that, I had to put him in there, but I actually called him, or he had contacted me again, because I didn't call anybody. I waited for everyone to contact me. I put it out there that we were going, and just let everyone that really wanted to go. If you were watching, paying attention, you really wanted to go, you were going to contact me, and everyone that went before that did is going. So I want to get back and finish this with Stavie, because I did have a question for you before we move over to Kench, or let Brad ask his questions. Have you been thinking about this, kind of running scenarios in your head a little bit when you're out there, maybe at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you guys are standing on the edge of the deep dark, about to go in? You know, do you put yourself in those kind of situations in your head?
Well, I mean, I've actually been in those situations. Being in the Army, one of the first times that I saw any type of evidence was I was screamed at 2 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, out in the field in Virginia. And, you know, the loudest roar of I can't even explain it. It just goes straight through your body. And so I've been there. I've been there. I know what that feeling is. I haven't seen it.
You've been there. You've been there where you're looking for them, is what I mean. You know, you're about to go into this place to try to capture one of these things. That's what I'm saying. If you put yourself in those situations.
I have. I'm not crazy. I know it's scary. It really is. It's nerving. Sure. It's unnerving. I mean, so I've thought about it. I've thought against it, but yeah, I'm definitely there.
Good. Awesome. Hey, brand new member, Connie Kerfman.
Welcome,
Connie. If you'd like to be a member of Bigfoot Odyssey, it's $3 a month, and you can hit the little join button right there beside the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, what's wrong with you? You can become a member, Bigfoot Odyssey. You get 10 special emojis that only you can use. You get your name in green. Obviously, every time you comment, your name will be in green. And you'll be eligible for drawings. We're going to give away T-shirts. We've got the 168 hours T-shirts that I'm going to have made here really soon, and Bigfoot Odyssey stuff we're going to be giving away. So only those that are members are going to be eligible for that stuff. Jeff, I don't know what's that background noise you got going on there.
Oh, sorry, I've got to cut the car off. Air conditioner's going, my bad.
Is that what it is? The air conditioner?
That's what it was. The car was running, air conditioner was on.
When to jump.
I was so late, I just tried to get online.
Where you
there we go.
There we go. Yeah, that's much better. Oh, and win for T. McGillicuddy. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
All right, Brad, you and Bailey have anything for Stavie?
Well, I did, but it kind of, I was going to go, but Bailey quit it. I was going to go back to the point about when you got screamed at. Was that the first time that you were drawn to it, or have you always had a fascination or a curiosity?
To be honest, not so much a Bigfoot fascination. I've had paranormal stuff happen all my life. I've seen all kinds of things and witnessed, experience just ghosts and just things happening around me since I was a kid. It was when I got screamed at that kind of put things in perspective, that there's something big out there, and it's in physical form. And, it definitely, you have to experience it to know that realization of it's real. You don't have to see it. It just kind of runs through you. And
Right.
yeah, it was definitely convincing, and it made me more eager to find out what it is and why. Why don't we know about it?
Right.
That
Well,
is the
I tell you what,
question.
go ahead, Kerry.
I was just going to say that is the question. Why don't we know? Why aren't more people convinced? But I can say this: when you hear that and you feel that power and you just get a sense of it, you know that there is nothing else you know of in the woods that can do that.
Absolutely.
It really narrows down the possibilities when you get a sense, that scream, that yell, that any kind of, if you see it and any kind of display of power that they do, that they're well known for doing, especially when they've been busted or they come up on somebody. I think that's what gets you and stays with you more than anything. Is that, to me, it is. It's what stays with me.
And have that happen to you twice. 10 years later, it happened again. Yeah, it's definitely convincing. It makes you wonder, why doesn't everybody know about this? Why hasn't everybody experienced this? So yeah, I'm eager, excited, but also I'm not crazy. I'm scared about it. I've been there, near it, close to it. I mean, I would almost say within feet of it. And yeah, so it's good to know that there's going to be people out there like Jeff Security, and that it's numbers, and I'm not going to be experiencing anything in the future with this expedition by myself. I'll have people with me, and I didn't the first time. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that it was going to be that you understand and realize it is going to be fearful situations, and that you're not trying to delude yourself. And
right,
because I've tried that, it doesn't work. Jimbo, welcome, sir. Jimbo actually helped us get a lot of the stuff that we're taking with us on this trip. So thank you very much, Jimbo. And
welcome very much.
Our good buddy, Livewire, Mr. Mark Copeland. If you haven't seen that episode, it's at almost 200,000 views. It's getting up there. And we appreciate every one of you for checking that out. So that's our friend, Mr. Mark Copeland there. All right, Mark Kinchell. Now, you were with us last time and felt the agony of defeat. Jeff was with us too. Everywhere we went, and I mean, the whole experience was dejecting. It was for me anyway. You're one of the only ones that's really charged with just one thing, and you're a field guy strictly. I imagine you're going to help do other things, obviously, but initially you're one of the field team. You've been running scenarios. You've been thinking about this much. How are you feeling about it?
I feel good about it. I'm not under any illusion either, like Stavie, that it's going to be all safe and secure. I know we're going into a hazardous situation. The flora and fauna out there is not kind. And when I go camping here just on my own at the places that I go, when it gets 9 o'clock or whatever and gets dark and the sun goes down, there's no light, and you haven't lit a fire, you don't have your headlamp on, it's very intimidating. And I don't expect that it will be any different in Florida, but I do expect it will probably be more intense. And I've tried to prepare myself mentally for it. And you can say what you're going to do, but you never know what you're going to do until you actually get there. I think it's going to be one of these moments where you just suck it up and you take it.
Suck it up, Buttercup. Yeah, no, I'm so glad you said that, because I said that on Friday, that I in my mind, I know what I'm going to do, but until it happens, that's a concern.
The closer we get,
exactly right.
Closer we get, more reality sinks in. Now, I've been out there in that place at night one time. Myself, Mark Zaski, and Melanie went out and stayed until dark, had chairs, and we just sat and listened. Now, when it's dry out there, the palmettos, the dead ones on the ground, they're loud. There's hardly a way to keep from making any kind of noise moving through there. And we could hear something was
Oh, sorry.
Dog, poor Mark.
Oh my
Brad, you're going to smell worse down in Florida, believe me.
Yeah, he
get used to it.
Yeah,
that's what you get for feeding him liverwurst. That's what happened.
I know it. After we talked about it, he wanted some liverwurst or some pate, and what are you going to do? Well, I know I'm not going to do that again. But anyway, excuse me, people. I apologize. That was a green mist.
We were out in this area. It was dark. We had probably been there for a good hour, and you hear things, and you're not really sure what it is because you can't tell how big it is, but it does sound like something was creeping closer to us. Now, Mark had a high sensitivity recorder with headphones, and he was sitting up the hill. Millie and I were kind of down at the bottom a little bit. He's up the hill listening, and he's like, "Oh man, Kerry, you got to come hear this." Okay, so he hands me the headphones. Leaves me alone, walks back down, and so I put the headphones on, and I'm listening. And the thing about having headphones on with a high sensitivity microphone is you don't know how far away anything is when you hear it, and it literally sounds like it's right there. And I heard the little chatter, and I said, "Nope." I took the headphones off. He tells this a lot funnier than I do, and I said, "No, I can't because I can't tell. I can't see first. There's we're not turning any lights on, and it's pitch black in there. It's dark in there in the daytime. You're under those canopies, and so you can't see anything, and I can see their faces by the light of a mobile." And I just went down and said, I can't do that. This might have been the next to the last day I ever went out with them, of all the times that I did go out there with them. And so I know it can be unnerving. Whoever's going to be carrying the parabolic, I feel for them. I really do. I'm sure I'll be doing the initial going in the daytime, and we'll have someone going out at night. I'll try to do as much of the filming as I can, but there are going to be times when everyone's out at night and out in the daytime, through this whole week. And just everyone be prepared. That's all I can say.
See a scenario where, like you said, at night, or everybody at night or daytime, I can see a scenario where something is discovered and you need the whole team to work, in conjunction with one another to just, to find out whatever it is we've discovered. Because just 7 people or how many of our people are going out, won't cut it. You need everybody to go out at the same time.
I think it's 4 in a group at a time. And a camera operator.
You'll need all of those people to surround the area or whatever the plan is going to be.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of strategies planned here. We've got really a lot of them. And I want to let everybody know, if you're going to have questions for anybody here, make sure you put those in caps so I can see them, because I'm not really reading the chat. So put it in caps and I'll focus in on it. Jeff Townsend. Jeff has been charged with he's part of safety, and he's going to consult us on safety, and he's going to be security for us. That is his main job. I'm sure he's going to probably be doing every other things, but I think you're going to be busy enough with that. You and whoever else you choose to do that with you. So I know you went with us last year. You've kind of been preparing for this too.
Oh yeah.
What have you done? I want to get back to Kinch on that same question here. What have you done to prepare for this?
Well, what I've done mainly is, me and Donnie became good friends, Donnie Miller, and I've been going down to Florida to see Donnie quite often. And I've never had an encounter until I went down there with Donnie. And boy, did I have a doozy to start with. I saw him kind of on there. I think they were mad at us. They were converging on us with this truck. 3 coming from across the dirt road and 2 from each side behind us. And it wasn't escort out, man. They was actually converging on us. I don't know what their intent was, but we managed to get in the truck and get away from there. But I got a good taste of what it's like if they actually coming at you. So I pretty well know what to expect if they do that. I know what it feels like. I know what the adrenaline feels like. And I know I could actually hear it running towards me and breathing hard as it was running. It was running so hard.
Now, Jeff, did you have your pistol out? Just out of curiosity, when that happened?
No, I actually had my 450 Bushmaster in my hand with safety dog when that was going on. I was a little concerned at that point, a little over concerned. I don't think he's playing with us, and I was just hoping Donnie get that daggone door when he did. And we got away with no harm, no foul. But I was actually very worried at that point.
Yeah, it's different. It's different when they're coming to you. When they're coming to you, it's a lot. I imagine it's a lot different feeling for anybody than when you're actually going after them.
That was a very strange day.
Now, as far as what we're going to do, Jeff, I know you went down to Donnie Miller's, and he lives in Florida. I think he lives a little bit up more toward Alabama area. We're going to be down
35 miles north of Panama City.
Yeah, we're going to be down in South Florida. What have you prepared? You know, for you running scenarios, thinking about this stuff, what you're going to do when you get down there, how you're feeling about being in this area.
I'm just going to do what I'm tasked to do, man. If I'm tasked with security, I'm going to do my absolute best to keep these people safe.
Well, there'll be nobody better to do it than you. That's why you're tasked.
I got a good head on my shoulders. I'm not going to react wildly in any given situation. I'm going to react appropriately. I plan to react appropriately. I just hope it don't get to the point that it really gets dangerous. If it does, we'll deal as we come to it. I just hope that doesn't happen. I hope we can enforce a strategy that keeps that from happening. At least to begin with. I think they're gonna make us force over with anyway. And I'll probably try to push it out myself. That's what I think.
Well, we hear this a lot. You know, y'all be safe. Just make sure you come back. We're gonna do our best, but you know what we plan to do. We're going to have to push the envelope. We're going to have, safety is going to have to go by the wayside in some situations. And we're all aware of the consequences, the potential consequences of that. And we're prepared as best we can for that, for, anything that does happen. We don't want it to happen, obviously, but, I think if we're going to do this and get what we're going after, we're going to have to push the envelope. And
I think if you didn't realize that was a possibility that it could happen, you would be not thinking very wisely. I think you have to consider that could always be a possibility.
Absolutely. This Miss Katie says, Mr. Townsend, I'm glad your mother is improving, and I continue to pray for her healing. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that more than you'll ever know. Thank you. Graciously, thank you.
All right. Here's a question. Oh, I want to, Kench, when I saw you. You were probably a little over 200 pounds, huh? When you were down there with us?
Probably 55, 260.
Were you that big? Because that's how much I weighed.
Yeah. Well, but you're 6'6", I'm 6'1".
No, I'm not 6'6". I'm like 6'4" and a half.
Still.
With my boots on, I'm 6'5". And I weigh 240, 239 right now, so I lost 11 pounds.
Donnie said all the time about me. Donnie say, Brother Jeff's about 6.5 foot tall. He always said it, man. Because he's so short.
Got a bunch of tall guys. Chad 6'8". We got a bunch of tall guys going.
Wow, that's big.
But what have you done the last year, Kent? You've been really working hard. What are you weighing now?
Well, I started to prepare when I knew I was going to Florida the first time, and so I started to work out and go on a program to try to eat better and to try to lose a little bit of weight. And I was mildly successful when we went, but I gained some of that back as well. So I was prepared in a way, but not like now. So I've lost over 50 pounds now. I'm running about 195 to 200 pounds now. I'm still on that program. It's body weight only exercises every morning. So I wake up with my wife at 6, have breakfast, go do some exercise, spend some time with her, and then go out to work. So that's an everyday thing, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday rest. So I feel fitter than I did, much fitter than I did. I feel like I did when I came out of high school. And I think I went down 1 or 2 sizes in my clothes. and I'm just trying to maintain the weight, not so I don't have to spend any more money on clothes, and maintain the weight but lose the fat. So that's where we're going with that.
Well, you look good, and there's a reason I asked that, because I knew you had done that. You had got on your horse and got fit, lost the weight, preparing for this. I did the same thing. The last 5 weeks, it's been push-ups, 40-pound dumbbells, just trying to get myself even remotely close to where I was before COVID. Even before that, I was turning into a little tub there. So I think everyone is taking it seriously. And
that's how serious I am about it, that I hate exercise. I mean, that's why I was in the condition that I was in, because I hate exercise. I'd much rather be a recluse and, sit in front of the television and watch YouTube all day. But you have to push yourself. And if there's something you're passionate about, you have to prepare for it. And that's what I've tried to do anyway, is to prepare for this. So I think as far as the physical conditioning, I'm ready. I've tried also to understand what my body is doing as far as, cramping, and trying to take supplements and stuff to kind of get rid of that. And I think I've been successful. The water didn't do it for me. I tried that, and it did. Potassium, magnesium, and calcium is what's really done it for me. And it's helped me out a lot. So, but I am drinking the water as well, but I'm doing the other things too.
I think we're bringing some potassium supplements besides, bananas and whatnot. That's the thing that scares me to death. Besides, the big guy is the cramping and needing to eat bananas or whatnot to get that potassium.
Because in Florida, it will get to you.
Go ahead,
staying hydrated is going to be huge, because I'm here in Florida, and it's almost impossible just on a normal, daily life to keep yourself hydrated. And we're going to be out there trekking it. It's going to be real important for everybody to keep hydrated. That's going to be the number one thing to keep the cramps away.
I'm bringing plenty of water.
As quickly as you can drink it, it comes out.
Yes. Sure. I mean, tenfold. I mean, it gets that warm out here.
I'm bringing plenty of water. It is. I'm bringing plenty of water. I'm bringing plenty of Gatorade to mix with that. Bringing salt tablets, pickle juice, and
there you go,
potassium tablets. But we're bringing a ton of fruit. A ton of food is coming on this trip. I had a $2,000 budget for food, and I think it's.
Wow. That's just for the opening night party.
Yeah, I ordered all the meats, and it was like $810 for all the meats, and that's not getting everything else, to go with it. And you guys have seen the list, so we've got some questions we're going to get to here in just a second. We'll go ahead and get to one now. Let's do this. For Stavie, have you heard of Bigfoot related encounters by other people in parks at your work?
That's a good question.
It's funny, because I do hear little signs of people talking, but nobody wants to talk. The area that I'm in, that I work out of, is upper class, if you want to say. So, to talk about anything cryptid or paranormal, it's taboo. But I hear people talking all the time. I hear people walking on the trails telling stories, and I try to cling to, politely, include myself in a conversation. So I have heard some stories, but no one wants to talk. No one wants to talk about it, it seems.
Well, hopefully what we're doing will get people to want to talk about it, because
absolutely,
you can't blame
this is that important. But no, you're right. I mean,
yeah, you can't blame them.
Until it gets normal to talk about this, where people aren't going to get ridiculed or whatnot. Thank goodness for this platform to try to up the ante, so to speak, on it's okay if you talk about this.
I mean, It's funny. I have people that I work with that they have their own stories, and they won't talk to me about it. They won't talk about it at all for, fear of being ridiculed or possibly losing their job, or, and these are people I've worked with for years, and I know they have stories. I know they do.
I really hope you guys do something to vindicate every one of them. Yeah, here we got Joe G, the hoax hunters. Are all members going to have personal locator beacons? No. What we are doing is we're going to use our cell phones with Google Maps. That way we can share our location with everyone. So you have a map and you're able to get to anyone and know where they are. So as long as everyone's got their phone on them and it's on, we're going to use our phones as personal locator beacons.
I'm bringing a spot device that has if something happens where you can hit I call it the stranger danger, where when you hit that SOS button, they will come and get you.
Who will?
But the people that monitor the stranger danger channel.
Airwolf's gonna show up.
I'm hoping so. I think that would be really neat. But no, it's the proper authorities or the authorities in the area.
They might leave us alone and know what we're doing.
Think some
knucklehead not a bad question,
Joe.
Yeah, good question, Joe. All right, on to the next. We'll take a few more, and just you guys feel free to talk about whatever we've done. This is our fourth night with all the members. I know you guys had other things, Stevie. I know your daughter got married. Kent, you were working or you were doing something. For getting everyone on here. Am I missing? If I've passed your question, put it up again because this thing goes by so quick. All right.
No snipe bags. Are we going to take anyone snipe hunting?
No, we're going to be busy Bigfoot hunting.
I got 3 class 3 lasers in my brain with me. If I'm guarding somebody, I'm gonna make sure they each one's got one of these lasers. That way, if they have to run for some reason and get out of the way, I can find them. If they can hit that laser, I guarantee you I'll find them.
Okay. I think everybody's gonna have flashlights anyway, so that probably work just as good. But I see where you're going with that.
You see these things a lot better. You can see a flashlight. A lot better. They're pretty powerful.
Yes, that's exactly right, Matt. Use the friends so everyone's plotted on the map. That's exactly the plan. John Hansi Adams, you gonna have electric at the tent? Yes, we are. They're just campsites for motorhomes. We just don't have motorhomes. As there's campers. There's camp power going to be there. We just actually found that out recently. We were gonna figure it out regardless.
Well, I think that with to what Jeff was saying. Well, I'm pretty sure most everyone will have headlamps. So if something happens, you'll see that bobbing of the light. If everyone decides to retreat, but that's the key thing is we all have to be one out there.
Absolutely.
You can't, you have to. I'm sure depending on what happens, people are going to be looking at each other. What do we do? Let's, stay. Don't run or, whatnot. I mean, it's in a way, it's like baptism by fire.
That's it. Randy,
I got some great lighting flashlights. So I'll be able to light the woods up. I need to.
Yep. I got a 6,000 lumen spotlight and I got a 12,000 lumen, just a flashlight. Mm-hmm. Randy Mahoney asks, how are you going to keep all that food fresh in the heat? We have ordered and had donated coolers. Let's see. I've got 3, a 100 quart blue, 265 quart Yetis. Brad's probably got 20 Yeti coolers. He buys one every other day.
Yeah.
So
new color.
Yeti coolers. That's that style of cooler. The one I ordered, the big one I ordered is a blue. It's just like Yeti. It lasts just as long with ice in it, but it's half the price. I got a 100 quart blue for $300, and the Yeti 110 was like $600. So
yeah. And I have a big Pelican, which was really good at keeping stuff iced up.
Oh, Ed, you guys know him as Cork for Brains, sent us 2 Yeti 65 quart coolers. So that's how we're going to do it. Ice and coolers. That's about going to be it. I'm sorry. Like, again, if I'm missing your questions, it's not on purpose. Here we go.
I'm really excited to have Stavie and Lynn going with us. I think that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 females. We didn't have any last time, and these ladies are very proficient. Lynn's our trackers. I mean, Stavie already knows these areas.
So, I mean, we're so fortunate that they're part of this team, and the team, Carrie, you put together is just really outstanding.
I agree.
Bigfoot Mama asks, do the authorities in that area know what your group is doing? Probably not. They may. If they watch the show, that's going to probably be the only way. If they ask us what we're doing, we're not going to lie to them. We're going to say we're out here looking at the wildlife. That is the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, buddy.
They know their business what we're doing. We're not going to be doing anything wrong. People hike this place all the time. We're going to be paid up. We have our permits. We're perfectly legal. We can run cameras in there. We can film and take pictures all we want. So we're not going to be doing anything wrong.
You have to have a permit to film, Carrie?
No.
You have to have a permit to film in the park?
No.
Any of the parks or anything?
No. Now, I think maybe if we were doing some kind of production shoot, like a movie or anything, maybe I don't even think so. Then I don't really know, but I do know that you can film in there. You can take video cameras, and that's what we've got. I mean, they're professional video cameras, and we're gonna have them on gimbals. But I mean, hey, they can't get us for that.
I mean, it's kind of the idea. You want to go in and not draw attention to yourself. So it's going in just like anybody else, hiking and camping. And we're just a bunch of friends hanging out, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be 18, 19 of us, I think.
Right. Some kind of
reunion.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to draw any attention.
Exactly.
They're going to be all over us. But we're going to, we're just camping in this one spot. We're going to be all over this place. And we got permits for many, many places. So Clay Campbell hooked all that up for us. Renee Weber, Carrie, I know it would seal the deal to have a body to prove this, but that won't fly. So what about body parts? Like you can sneak that and put it on blast.
You're like a Steve Looney fan.
She's not suggesting that we kill one, but if we happen to stumble upon a dead one, what do we do? I already said what I would do is I would go live on YouTube immediately. And I'll make sure you download it when we do. So, they don't go in there and yank our channel just for whatever. But even then, it's not going to be proof of anything. Maybe we would try to. It depends on what's going on around us, I would have to say. Kench, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. You've got to go live, and you have to have some people set up that you can contact, that you trust with the information, that know what to do with it, can download it, can store it somewhere, do whatever they need to do with it to keep it safe, just in case something happens and they can reproduce it at another time.
Yeah, download it, film the TV or your phone with another camera. That they really can't take away from you.
I mean, I've thought about that before. If I ever do something like that while I'm out, I need to have somebody that I can contact and say, this is what's going on right now. And I want you to know that where I am, and this is the information, this is the evidence that I've got, be able to give it to them, email it, whatever, immediately.
Just call me. We'll go on Bigfoot Odyssey live right then. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
We'll throw it out there. Anybody's welcome to do that. We'll go live for you if you don't have 1,000 subscribers on your channel. And we said this before. This is why I subscribe to every channel. I hope everyone subscribes to every Bigfoot channel that goes in the field, or anyone that you like anyway. But these guys that go in the field, they can't go live on their cameras without 1,000 subscribers. I don't know why. It's a crazy rule. Maybe it keeps just anybody from going live from all over the place. But that's the only thing I know to do. But you're right. Take a body part if you can. Stavie, what do you think? Does that make any sense to you? Would you do anything any differently?
I mean, no, you just got to contact somebody. You got to call somebody. You get as many people as present as possible, because you're always going to have somebody that's not going to believe you. Most of the people won't. Just, like you said, go live. Just go live. Get as many people as you can.
I think if we dragged it out.
I mean, can you drag something that huge out though? I mean, maybe. I know I wouldn't be able to. I mean,
no, you got to go live right then and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you ain't take one of them out.
Even if it's 400 or 500 pounds, 4 or 5 people could drag it out. But how far are you going to get with it?
Right. Where are you going to go with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the parks people. It's part of their wildlife. You can't just drag whatever out of there unless you've got.
That's not even an issue either. I mean, if what people have theories, about what they do with their dead. Do they bury it or whatever? Is that why you never see one? If we possibly come on one, are they coming to get that body? Are we in danger of, going and touching it and trying to drag it out? It goes to that back to this thing about shooting one. Would you ever shoot one? No, because there's probably some other ones around there that are going to come after you. So are they going to come after you if you try to drag the body out? I don't know. We could be in danger if we try to do that. Yeah.
And the other thing though too is we won't be having long guns. It'll be people with it'll be only pistols.
I think
even having said that, I don't think that should prevent us from trying to drag it out.
No.
Just because they're coming after you to get the body, I don't think we should not try.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean, without a doubt.
Pull that thing. I'll guard you while you pull it.
Keep that live going. That way, when they do come to take it away from you, you get whoever's taking it away from you on camera. Everybody can see this is who took it from us. We had it. So here's John Adams. Are you going to have lookouts at night? I don't know. Jeff, what's the plan there? Are there going to be lookouts at night?
The cameraman's really vulnerable, as far as I'm concerned. We got strategies we're going to employ with Mark and Clayton and all, but I think the cameraman's really vulnerable. He's going to do his best to film and get the shot, and he can't look all around his where he's at.
Or her.
I think you have to. I think you kind of have to go to the cameraman some. I think it's foolish not to.
We'll be politically correct.
I think it puts him at risk.
I think we'll be like a bunch of quail if something happens, backing up to each other, to observe what's going on or what we hear, or depending on what the situation is.
I think that just requires some good communications between the filming team and the folks that's doing the moving and driving. I think that should be coordinated between us.
Right. Hansi, I really think that everyone is going to be on alert no matter what. It's just that kind of place. The whole reason we're going down there, everything that we've talked about for the last few months with everyone, I think everyone is going to be acutely aware of their surroundings and watching at all times, maybe trying not to give themselves away so much. But just sitting in camp, we may have people that are scanning with thermal, but it's not like, if this is what we've talked about, if someone sees anything, they're not going to say, oh, look right there it is. You just go on like you don't see it, and then you get on the radio, hint to somebody that's around, hey, I'm kind of getting something over here. Just trying to be as calm as possible and not get all up in arms if we see a heat signature, no matter how big it is, anywhere around the camp. So I think that's a big deal.
Key. That's key, is to keep your cool, to keep calm, no matter what the situation is, to try, like I said earlier, to try to suck it up and just stay calm and just realize that you got the team around you, and we're going to, as long as we stick together and do the same thing, act in unison, we'll be fine.
I'm employing some less than lethal force with me anyway. I'm going to have a few cans of bear spray. I'm going to have some other things that we can use and not harm them and protect us as well.
Jimbo, I see your question. I don't really want to talk about that and put that out there. I appreciate it though. Here we go. Luke's a good dude. Laugh at Jeffrey. Try to make him laugh. I think they're going to be pretty aggravated at us.
I bet by day 2 or 3.
I mean, they're going to watch us from the beginning. They're going to see us as soon as we come in. I mean, with everybody coming in, they're out there. They're going to be seeing us from minute 1. I mean, it's just a matter of how long it takes for them to catch on that that's what we're there for.
What's the consensus among the group right here on when we will get busted by them, when they know that we're out there?
I say after the first night of whichever group goes out first stays out overnight.
I tend to agree with her.
Could be. Depends on them and us and
right. Exactly.
Situational. It's going to be situational.
It is.
I think before we leave camp, they may not be too keen on exactly what's going on, but I think once the first group goes out, it might be, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe not. I mean, right. Who knows? I mean, it's hard to say, but in my opinion, I think it's going to be after the first group stays out overnight, because then we're separated and, you know, it's going to be more focused on actually finding them, you know, if we're going after them, whichever group goes first.
It's going to have to be the way we behave, because there are people that hike through there, you know, even late, coming in late, and maybe they do at night too. I don't know, but it's not like they haven't seen people out there hiking in groups walking around, or, you know, I think the one of the initial plans is taking some chairs out and just sitting around and see what comes to us. I know, laugh real loud, have somebody stand up and act like he's mad at everybody and yell and scream. And, you know, this is the old Zasky technique. When he first started, he would go out there and scream and beat his chest and shake the bushes, and they didn't like it at all. He got hit with all kind of stuff. You know, he had a really bad bruise all the way across his chest where he got hit with a limb. And he said he didn't see it until right there at the end. It was just flipping through the air and hit him flush right there. It's on camera. It's pitch dark, but he was chasing them. He didn't know exactly what it was then. He thought there were homeless people out there, but he was seeing something small and furry, and he was trying to chase it. And Melanie could hear the whole thing. She's standing up on the hill pointing. You know, it's over here. No, it's over. And he's running through, and by the time it gets dark, he's walking out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Out, it hits him, and he just goes down. It's a crazy piece of footage. One thing that kind of worries me, and this happened to Mark out here in this place at night, is he's filming him and Melanie. They're having action go on around them. They're shining the light and just catching them. The light hits them and they duck, and you can see this on camera. And then all of a sudden you see this static come across the camera, and he goes down and to one knee. He thought he was having a heart attack. And I don't know if that is, I don't think that's infrasound. I think that's some kind of EMF. We went out there with the EMF detector and meters, and we were getting spikes of up to 300 milligauss, which is unheard of. I mean, you can put one by an electromagnet and get that.
I can tell you they fried a brand new light flashlight in there with Donnie one night with me. I mean, it completely destroyed that flashlight. It wasn't charged. It killed it. It was fully charged. I went in. Donnie felt like he was getting hit with infrasound. And
infrasound doesn't drain batteries. No. EMF does.
I'm just telling you, that light was fully charged. It was a brand new light. That puts on the bill you had, 1,000 lumen light. And I had it fully charged. I used it 2 or 3 nights at Donnie's house. It worked perfectly. And we started to come out, and all that commotion all started happening. That light wouldn't even come on. It's never come on since. I have no explanation for that. It just seemed to me that they did something to fry that light. I don't know what that would have been, but EMF, what are you talking about? But I know for a fact it destroyed that light. It's never worked since.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's for sure.
Yeah, because we really don't know. We have no clue what's going to happen. We have no clue what we're going to get. You know, we have our best and worst case scenarios. I'm thinking about these things constantly. You know, we're standing on the edge of this whole thing, and it's a really monumental undertaking. And when you decide to do, like I did, decide to do something like this, it's a whole lot easier going, and you're just so much more sure of that you can do this in your mind. Now, Kinch and Jeff were with us last year. You remember, if we had tried to do what we're going to do now, we would be seriously, or would have been seriously ill prepared. There's no way.
I agree.
I was thinking I could have 2 cameramen, okay? 2 camera guys. And these guys would go out for 8 hours, come in 8 hours, out 8 hours, in 8 hours. And the camera guys would just go in and do the same thing. There's just no way. It's just not possible. You would be just dead on your feet. And by the second day, probably no way you'd make it a week. That's why there's so many more people coming this time. Everybody's probably at some point. I got 5 people charged with running the camera, but I'm sure everyone's going to have a filming camera in their hand at some point. Just so they can capture this, because when you're filming from multiple angles continuously, something's going to be going. Some camera somewhere, some audio is going to be running the entire week. That's what's monumental about this. But I wouldn't have been able to save it if we did do that. I wasn't prepared for that. Now, so thank gosh we got David, Dominique, and Josh and Blake, tech guys from Lost Cryptids that are already creating the files. We've got people that are sending their equipment to us, the make, model, and if anything that takes a card or records, and the serial number, so we can create files for each one and put this all in and save it in a way that I'm going to be able to edit this stuff easily, because I'm going to have to watch and listen to every single device for every day before I even begin editing it, just to decide what I think is going to be good to go in the film. I'll be taking notes in the field for myself. Obviously, Brad, you've actually seen me do that on.
No, you'll be thinking 20. I mean, yeah. When we were up in at Mark's place in Oklahoma, it was. I mean, you're constantly thinking about boom, 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 boom. You can just see, how you want everything, in order and whatnot. It was really neat to see.
The shots, absolutely, is all I'm going to be worried about, is how this is going to look when you guys watch it, and you're going to be able to see it clearly in here and everything. That's why I got the gimbal, and someone actually got us another. We have 2 gimbals. We got one for each camera.
And Carrie, I actually have a gimbal I'm bringing too. I just got it.
Okay,
yeah, I got one.
Awesome.
I've got one. I'm bringing it.
Well, for the filming cameras, for filming you guys, what most people are going to see, you guys have your evidence cameras that you're going to be filming with. But for what the story part of this, when you're walking through the woods, if you don't have that gimbal, it's this.
Right.
It's bounce, move, and everyone that's ever broke down a video has to stabilize it because it's so shaky. This gimbal, I mean, you can still shake it and move it, but when you turn and go, it stays right where it's supposed to stay. So that's the good thing about this.
Well, I'm still learning how to use mine, but it's pretty neat. I love it. I think you probably do too, Stevie.
I have no idea how to use it. It's at home. I'm out here in West Texas, and all this stuff is sitting at home boxed up. I'm gonna have to take a couple of days just to go through it all and watch videos. I'm good at that. Watching tutorials.
YouTube has a million of them.
Yep.
Winford T. McGillicuddy says, and this is actually a pretty good question: how many types of Bigfoot Sasquatch have you seen? I'll say this: I don't think there's a soul in this world that we know of that knows that there are more than one type of these creatures, for sure. it's been speculated, and I'm gonna tell you where that whole type thing came from. About 5 years ago, Wes Germer suggested that it seemed like there were different types in different areas, that the stories that he heard seemed like the Northeast has a specific type, the South has a specific type, and someone heard that and took off with it. All of a sudden, there's 4 different types, and then there's subtypes. There's type 1, type 1A, type 2B, and this is what these look like, and this is what this one looks like. I don't think it's any different than us, than people. You know, are there different types of people? I suppose you could say that there are. Technically, there are 3 different types of people. But we don't know if that's the case with these creatures, if it's just some of them look different and behave different than others. You know, what do you think about that, Stevie?
Geographically, I can see there being differences. I don't know if there's different types. I know, you know, people adapt to different areas. You know, right now being in Florida, I couldn't live in the northern hemisphere. I'd freeze to death. You know, I mean, there's just differences in people, so why not? I mean,
for the record, you do live in the northern hemisphere.
I mean, you know what I mean. I'm sorry, you're right. Thanks.
And you know, they say that in different areas they behave differently.
Yeah, I mean, I only know what I've seen and learned and heard here in Florida, and they're not friendly. They're not the stories that you hear of people building relationships and, you know, all, you know, sunflowers and roses. They're pretty mean. And
but you do have those situations where they are like that. Look at Snow White Bigfoot.
Right, Snow White Absolutely.
Bigfoot, Angie is probably one of the best at documenting her
amazing
indirect interactions. The best, I mean, most consistent that I've seen.
Yes, absolutely.
Mark and Melanie do a fantastic job also, but theirs are more direct. Hers are more indirect. She has both, but they don't seem to be malicious
no, not at all.
Me personally, I don't think these creatures stand on any moral ground, good or bad, one way or the other. I think it's all about survival, opportunity, and whatever it takes to do that. I think if they believe they have to be cool and nice to you, and you bring them some apples, then I believe that's how they're going to be. And the other way around, if you upset them, aggravate them, there's obviously a level of tolerance that these creatures you can breach. Because I did it inadvertently. So they can and will get upset and mad at you. And in the South, it just seems to be the thing. They're just not really, they don't care anything for us, and I don't care anything for them. So it's a mutual feeling.
Well, a lot of people talk about these Florida Bigfoot being a little more aggressive. I absolutely agree with that. It's been my experience. They are more aggressive.
I think it's the same thing we see in South Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. I think it's the same creature, you know, close to 7 feet tall, 400 or 500 pounds, really long arms, no hair on its face. Just for most of the images that I've seen from Mark and Melanie, is the only one person I've ever seen that catch a Bigfoot face personally, except, you know, Patterson Gimlin, which is 100 feet away on celluloid. But they all kind of have that same bone structure, seem to have body type. Now, I'm sure there are some of the 10 or 12 footers, some of the 6 footers, whatever. But for the most part, it's that body style, facial bone structure. I don't know what's that dinging, Jeff. You're throwing me.
No, that's me. It's grandmother clock. Grandmother clock.
Oh.
I'm gonna mute you for a second. You're throwing me.
It was pretty.
Yeah, it was not. I can imagine how 12 o'clock, noon, and midnight is around the house there.
Start with me, book,
I swear I thought it was you, Jeff. Not bad.
I did too, actually. I thought it was a new ringtone.
I was worried it was me, but
all right, let's get some good questions for these guys, y'all. Let's do it. Let's see. let's stick with the types thing. Kench, what do you think about this whole type situation here?
I don't discount anything that people have experienced or talk about. And for example, when you get into orbs and you get into the cloaking thing, I don't subscribe to that, but I'm open-minded to it, to where I will listen and try to formulate an idea and opinion about it. I'm more the animal kingdom type when it comes to Bigfoot and Sasquatch. They may be more human than they are primate, say gorilla, but I still think that they act in the same manner. And when you look at the animal kingdom, even when you look at like species, for instance, deer around the United States or around the world, they adapt to their environment. They all act in similar ways, but they also have differences. I don't think Sasquatch is any different than the animal kingdom. And in some respects, people say that, we are animals. The human species is an animal. And we're the same way. We adapt to our surroundings. There are different body types. There are different ways that family groups or tribes or whatever act because of the way that they've been brought up and their traditions and their culture. Who's to say that Bigfoot and Sasquatch doesn't have a culture or a tradition? The way that family groups actually react and act to their surroundings. So yeah, I think that they are different from area to area because they may not interact with one another. Florida doesn't interact with the Pacific coast, so they're going to act differently. That's what I think. That's my opinion.
I don't think you're wrong at all, and I think some may act the same. Also, I think it's all about, especially when you have a sentient being that is self-aware, instinct aside, it's life experiences that form who all of us are. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it would be any different with them. Look at the 19 of us. Put us in a line together. You could probably say there were 5 or 6 different types. Just if no one knew us. And I'm not saying that someone can't just decide for themselves, okay, this is what I'm calling a type 1. I'm calling this a type 2. That's fine. But, getting the community, as it were, to agree with all that is something completely different. So I don't really subscribe to it. I'm kind of waiting for science to tell us, DNA, this is why this is this type. This is why this is that type. And we're probably, our lifetimes away from anything like that. But who knows? All we can do is what we can do.
Could you approach it from an idea? If you were not from Earth, you were from somewhere else, and you came to Earth, and you saw human beings roaming around the planet. Could you not, as a visitor from another planet, see the human beings as all being different? There would be similarities in some and differences, So I think in some respects, because this is an unknown creature, we think we know some things about it, but there are so many other things that we don't know about it. We could almost approach it from that aspect. We are learning about this particular group of individuals. Maybe some other individuals will be different.
Yeah, I agree. And, I think it's all going to be a process, and all we can do is what we can do. We're talking about step 500. We're on step 6. We just haven't gotten even remotely close to figuring anything out like that as far as the community goes. Now, there may be, scientists, on the down low that know all these things. Probably are. Would not surprise me a bit. But what can we do now as a group coming together best we can? What can we do? All we can do is what or try to do is what we know and what we've learned and what we think is self-evident to this point, and try our best to get something that's going to convince more people that, hey, these creatures do exist. They are out there. It's hard to suspend disbelief with this creature for people because there's been so much disinformation put out there about it, and commercials and everything else. It's just a mixed up, swirled around subject, and it upsets me. Brad, are you with us? Are you tired, buddy?
No. Bailey, yeah, he wanted to play, so he knocked my earpiece out. So,
well, this is our last show.
I know it. It's
for a while, but this is our last show before we go to Florida.
Right.
It is.
Every day it gets closer. It just becomes more and more real. It starts segueing from, work, personal life, whatever, to starting to think about this. I need to get this, or I need to bring this, and I could just imagine how chaotic it's going to be a week from tonight. When we start, how chaotic it's going to be a week from tonight when everything's laid out and you're getting ready to hit the road.
Are we leaving a week from tonight?
No, but I mean, Tuesday I am.
What Tuesday? Like 2 weeks? Tuesday. Like 2 weeks?
Oh, no, I got, no, it's just going to be.
You're leaving early.
No, just when stuff starts coming in and getting it laid out and trying to figure out, just how getting, the actual stuff that I've ordered per se is taking a while. So some of it is going to take a couple weeks to get in.
I get it. Each week that gets closer to it, it's becoming more and more real. So this time next week, it'll be even,
Yeah, and then the next week, and then the next week. So.
Yeah, I was wondering what day you thought it was.
Well, I wanted to order a trailer, an Airstream, and when I didn't think we had electricity, then I went the tent route. Now I'm trying to refigure that out. So I don't know.
Well, I think I know exactly what Brad's talking about. You just lose track of what day it is, and you're so much anticipating going down there. I mean, me personally, I want it to be tomorrow. I want to go tomorrow. I'm ready. I want to do it.
At least 3 or 4 more days.
Tomorrow's too soon.
Well,
I wish it was tomorrow.
I got a question here, and it's a pretty good one. I'm gonna throw it at Jeff first, but I want to say this: if you're planning on following us while we're down there, you can go to Hidden Existence. That's Daniela's channel. There is a link in the description for that. If you're on your iPhone and you can't see where to join and become a member, there's a link in there to become a member of Bigfoot Odyssey. Linda and I will use that to do the travel show, to help us do the travel show after this expedition. But we are going to be going live daily, maybe nightly from the field, just kind of giving little updates, what we can give you guys, but it's not going to be here. It's going to be on Daniela's channel, Hidden Existence, and as long as you're subscribed over there, hit the bell. I don't think everyone's getting the notification here. So if you're not and you've been looking for them, just go and hit notification again and then hit all again, and it'll kind of refresh. I think what happens is if you go a while without watching, they'll stop sending you notifications. So that happens to some people. So Jeff, here's this question.
Okay.
All right. This is I'm kind of anxious for this. Heaven Bound Daughter. If any one of them tries to mind speak with any one of you, will you respond? Jeff.
I don't I've never actually had one try to do that, so it's hard.
But if it does, this is
hypothetical. I would probably say no. Now I've actually my own self when me and Donnie had a couple of little hairy experiences down there that I actually thought out loud myself. Everybody says they can read your thought or your intent. Well, I just gave them my intent, and they kind of backed off a little bit. And I was glad they did. So there may be something to that. They may actually can cap in there and see what you're thinking or something, or there's something. I think there's something to that.
Well, if they can,
I've never had one speak to me, like kind of mind speak to me that I know of. But I actually done it to them, hoping they could read my mind, and they actually backed off of it some. Enough that everybody left safely.
What'd you say?
I mean, you got to be concerned.
I just told them I didn't want no trouble, but the first one come out in the open was gonna have a bad day. and they stopped. They stopped pushing what they were doing to us, and we managed to get back to the truck and we left, and we were all safe.
Well,
so let me wonder if that was true.
Let me say this before we make the rounds here. I can tell when my wife is mad at me and she ain't got to say a word, and I can't read her mind. I just know she's upset. So I think a lot of that, reading us as our notions and our tendencies and our mood,
our energy,
our energy, even I think they're just so in tune that they just know how we're feeling. Maybe not exactly what we're thinking, but maybe they can tap in. And if they do, then they know we're coming and we're in trouble anyway. What are you going to do, Stavie? One talks to you and they'll noggin.
I'd like to say, no, I'm not going to listen, but I probably will. I'm too curious. I am. I would want to know. I don't know what the conversation, how it would go, but yeah, I want answers. So I wouldn't completely tune it off. I don't think you can anyways. If they really want you to hear, you're going to hear. My opinion.
Mark Kinchell.
I don't know how to answer. I don't know how to answer that.
What are you going to do, man? Think about that. Just put yourself there. And one says, hey, Mark, what are you guys doing out here?
Yeah, I'm not so sure that I don't know if it'll be words or not. I mean, I kind of envision that it will be images of something.
Okay, fair enough.
Speaking in pictures or something like that. If it's true that they can speak to us with their minds and understand us, and some people think they can actually understand what we're saying, I may just speak out loud to them. So if you want to communicate with me, you communicate with me audibly, not through my mind.
I'm gonna talk to them. It's worth a shot. Right. We might as well try to talk to them while we're out there.
Right.
Bradley Hatcher. If you get some mind speak coming through the old head there, what are you gonna do?
I'll probably go back to thinking, did I really do that in college, to warrant having this happen. I mean, I was told it wouldn't happen. So, that I don't know. I might, go back to, I think the first thing, if I thought something was talking to me, I would say, okay, prove it, do something. I don't know. I mean, I believe in that, like what you said, Curry, about when your wife gets mad at you. I get that all the time, and I can be 3 rooms over and know that I did something wrong. But at the same time, sometimes I go back to using a hunting analogy. When you catch something in your peripheral vision, will it be like that? When if they are going to get in your noggin, I don't know. It's that would be it would be very fascinating to if that would happen.
Well, I just want to say for the record that when Linda gets mad at me, I'm not doing anything wrong. She just
sure.
I can't explain. I can't explain this to maybe where people can understand it, but when I had that dogman encounter down there, and that thing was like 20 yards away from it. I never saw the thing. Donnie filmed it and told me he saw something with 2 eyes and pointed ears. I never actually saw it at that point. I was afraid to take my eyes off of it. He wanted me to look at the camera, and I wouldn't do it because I knew by then it was something real.
Was it talking to you in your head though? That was
no. I'm getting to that. Well, what I done, I stayed in place. I never moved, and Donnie started feeling sick to his stomach. Said he's going to move back towards the lake. And I just took my hand and I motioned him on, and I'm just kind of guarding his exit. And I had never moved from the spot when I first saw that thing. I saw like what I guess was the top of his head sticking out of the brush. I don't think it actually knew I could see the top of his head. I really think that was the case. It looked almost like a half a coconut sticking up out of the weeds. I mean, it was so out of place, it was ridiculous. But what surprised me, I wasn't expecting, is Donnie made it about 15, 20 yards, I guess, back down the hill towards the lake. That thing just raised his whole head up out of the brush. I wasn't expecting that. But it was watching, I guess wanting to watch me and Donnie walk away. And it realized almost instantly I wasn't with Donnie. And I saw that look. I actually could see that the expression on that thing's face. It never moved his head, but it turned his eyes straight to exactly where I was standing. Of course, I got that 4-picture bushback point at him at that point. And I didn't just see him with my eyes. I saw him through that little post scope. And I could see that, oh no. It was almost like a moment for it. It made a mistake. And it realized it made a mistake, and it went down periscope instantly. And I started talking trash that thing in my head. I don't know if I've done that to keep me getting scared or what. I should have been terrified, but I, honest to God, never felt afraid of that thing. I should have. I figured I'd be terrified of it. It was kind of terrifying looking, but I never got scared. But I started talking trash to that thing in my head. Like, you know, I had you, big boy. You know I could have took you. I said, but you didn't try to do that nothing to us, so I returned that same behavior. I'm actually doing this in my head. I can't explain why I done it, but I did.
Well,
but
you had a cannon.
And Jeff and I went to college together, so that's why this is going on. Yeah.
Right. you had a cannon in your hand, so you know fear.
I'm telling you, man. I could have. It wouldn't took. I could have took it, but I didn't feel like it was wanted. It didn't try to hurt me. Now his buddies did however the moment got some of that. I don't think it was coming to socialize at all. I think they was coming for us.
Yeah. Mr. Larry said if they talk nice to Jeff, Jeff will be nice to them.
I certainly will.
I think that's a fair assessment. Hey, big shout out, Melanie Harrison. Welcome to the Big House.
Welcome, Melanie.
Thank you. Now, what will I do if I hear this thing talk in my head? I will probably walk back to camp.
I know the answer to this one. I know the answer to this one.
Grab all my stuff, get in my truck, and go home. That's what I'll do. That is what I'll do. Because there'll be no point for me to continue after that to do any of it. If they can do that, then everything else that they've been reported to do is true. Mess with the electronics on your camera. There's no good evidence for that. We do have them on film. Mind speak. You know, there's no way to prove that except anecdotally. You know, that's the court of public opinion. And you know, portals and orbs and all that. They're just that's too much for me. I have to approach this from a natural standpoint until I get to a point where, I mean, I'm open-minded about it, not so much that my brain is falling out, but I do have an open mind about these things. I do think people are experiencing something. I don't think people are just full of it and putting it out there. Something's going on here. Now, perception is reality. The way we perceive things is the way we are going to present them. It's not always actuality, though. What's actually doing this? What's actually causing this? There are a lot of external forces, things on the periphery that can cause you to have hallucinations, make you feel like you're being watched, hear voices in your head, make you feel sick, make you lose time. EMF does all of those. So I think that, to me, until someone comes up with a better solution, that's probably where I'm going to lean more toward, is this is what's going on here. But who knows? This could be the case. There have been people that have cited these things with aliens and getting into alien spacecraft. And so, I mean, there are, can you imagine the implications involved in that? My goodness. So for me, I would just quit. I would go back to doing something else. Maybe not go back in the woods anymore. May still talk to people about it, sure. But I'm not going back out to look for them. It just, to me, it would be pointless.
Let me tell you, I never thought I would agree with the woo factor. None of that stuff. I think they're just flesh and blood creatures and blah blah. Let me tell you something. I've had some experiences down there with Donnie that I've done just about to reverse my decision on that stuff. There's things I can't explain. And there's no other creature on earth that you can compare these things to. But they have abilities
that we know of
far above any other animal on earth. And
so they say
it actually caused me to start thinking a little different, a little more open-minded.
Well,
I'm not saying I buy into everything of it, but I am saying I'm more open-minded about because there's things I can't explain.
Right. That's most people that do have those types of experiences. They can only explain it the way they perceived it and then what they remember of it. And I mean, that's all of us. We can only tell a story as much as we remember of it. So yeah, I understand. I get it. But that's my answer to that question. Carrie, just where you depends. Larry, I'm telling you, there's more truth to that than you realize. I know you guys are picking, but look, when I went, the first time I went back in any woods, Mississippi woods, to film, it was 10 years to the day, almost to the day. It was 10 years and a month, exactly. April 10th of 2017, no, 2018, 11 years. That I had serious stomach issues and it was just pulling up. That was at Bienville when we went to film with MK Davis and Invest. When we went back, the same exact thing happened. I was out with Larry and Mark, and I can't remember who else was with us, the Pajerski brothers. Mm-hmm. We were walking through the pines, and I've got the camera going, and it just hit. And that's never happened to me anywhere else but there. So it's the body reacting. You just can't control it. There's no holding it. We lost Stavie. I hope she comes back.
Well, I tell you, I think that it's kind of cool to be when we've heard so many things that happen, and I think we're getting ready to experience some of them when we go.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what.
I'll give you an example with me, because all I've got is what I've experienced to go on.
Sure.
I mean, you got things that people tell you, but Donnie owns like 10 acres, about 10 miles from his house, so just another piece of property. And that property creeps me out, man. When we drive on that property, I've been on it 7 or 8 times. We drive on that property, I just start getting this. It's like the dang place is haunted or something, man. There's a feeling there, but when you get out of the car, you can feel it, and it's a very foreboding feeling. I've never felt it anywhere else, but I feel it every time I walk on that piece of property. And there's no lights within several miles of that place. It's on the very end of a dead end dirt road. There's no access to it except through a locked gate. There's no electricity on that property, no electricity within a couple of miles of it. But yet, Donnie has picked up. His game camera has picked up some of the most intense light shows you've ever seen. And it's, I don't know whether it's orbs or what, but something is lighting up the sky out there. And it is the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. But
Can you attach it?
I studied those pictures, man. I mean, literally studied them. And that's what's caused me to start feeling a little differently. There's something going on out there. There's something paranormal crap going on out there on that property.
Our good friend Donnie's here now.
I can't explain it.
Okay, Jeff, our good friend Donnie is here with us now, standing Ghost Rescue. And we're going to get down there and film with Donnie sometime. Linda and I are going to be going sometime in the summer.
Yeah, Linda won't let me go anymore.
Oh yeah, you can still go.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
I can't do the opening. That's
I'm just
right.
not assuming. Linda said you can't do her open. As long as she's there, she has to do on this episode of Bigfoot Odyssey Park. So
Donnie's talking about the day that we had the dogman incident, and they were converging onto the truck. He was trying to get the truck open while I was kind of guarding us. and I could hear that one running. It was I could hear it literally breathing hard, huffing and puffing as it was running. It was wild. It was, and they were using screech owl sounds. It's like locators, I guess, to coordinate where they're at. And I finally figured out which one was the closest one to us. Which one I thought was that's going to break from the road towards us first. And I already took a defensive position unless I was truck, and I started waiting, and I literally thought to myself, if you break in the open on that road, do us harm, I'm gonna drop you I'm gonna flatten you like a tire. That's exactly what I thought to myself, and it stopped. That I could hear it running, and it actually stopped running. But I could still hear it breathing heavy. It could have been more than 25 yards from me at the very most. But I felt it in my mind. I didn't say anything out loud. I felt it in my mind, and it stopped. It stopped running. All of them did. And it gave Donnie the time to open that door, and I jumped in that truck, and we flew out of that place. But I never said a word that place. I took a defensive position, and I was prepared to fire. I thought I was going to have to shoot. And I made that thought in my head, and that thing stopped. The second I felt that thought, it stopped. And I can't explain that, man. But it gave us time to get out of there. To immediately that truck, let's get out of there. I have no explanation for it, but that's exactly what happened. And I don't think if I hadn't thought that, it would have stopped. I probably would have had the shot. I was fully prepared to. I was at that point. There wasn't no friendly social college coming to us. That was a convergence. They were converging on us.
I don't think we should be able to expect anything friendly at all from what we're doing. I was just kind of reading through. I caught this. Neil Tennant says, Carrie was just watching Human Odyssey, and boy, do the big feet have a surprise for you. Tell you what, Neil, I let this thing surprise me one time, and they're not going to do it again. Nothing about this creature surprises me. If all the things I've ever heard are true, I will not be surprised. Now, whatever I think or believe is what I'm going to prepare for. There's no sense in preparing for something that's completely out of reach. It makes no sense for us to go after something we know is out of our reach. But I do believe what we're trying to do is absolutely possible. Maybe it isn't, but I believe it is. And we're going to prepare for it that way. But it doesn't matter what they do. They're not going to surprise me again. I'll believe it. Absolutely. I'm going to try to be ready for whatever. There is not one of these people going out there that's going to be more of looking with their head on a shoulder than I am, head on a swivel than I am. I can guarantee you that. I'm going to be on it. If they surprise me,
like a covey of quail.
If they surprise me, it's going to be because I was sleeping. I can tell you that. Then some of these questions, y'all, I'm reading, we've already gone over, and I'm just trying not to be too redundant. The people that have come in a little bit late and ask them, so you can get answers to some of these questions just if you go back and watch the beginning. Renee Weber says they're not friendly. I agree. No, never underestimate them. Absolutely not. I don't underestimate these things. But like I said, I've been surprised by them, and I won't let it happen again.
Well, and we're very fortunate that we don't only have to worry about alligators as well. So.
Oh yeah. Yep. New York Upstate asked that. Are there alligators? Yep. Yes. This Florida. Oh, yeah. There's alligators.
And spiders.
And spiders and snakes.
See, I will shoot a spider. I will shoot a spider. I've shot the top out of the deer.
I'm telling everybody around me, if I walk into a spider's web on my face,
I hate spiders.
Better not be close to them. I'm not going to hurt nobody.
Sneaky little blanks, and they're just,
We're going to be back at camp, and everyone's going to sound like World War III going off. And
I tell you what, if there's a spider gets in,
Brad ran in. I'll go ahead and say it. Brad ran in
the spider web.
The banana spider webs.
Oh, those things are big, man.
Well, I can hit a spider with the 45. So,
Linwood Workman. We've been on here an hour and a half. Let's make this our last one here, guys.
Okay.
Is there a plan in place in case of an aggressive attack? The best I think we have done and will continue to do is just kind of run scenarios and prepare people to to react in a certain way in case something like that. We talk a big game about standing in there and not, going in after these things. But I think when it comes down to the nut cutting, we're going to probably be running. And if it comes down to that, then we're going to have something good, because we're going to have on film what we're running from. So
you just hope not to be the slowest person there.
If I'm running,
that's what it boils down to.
Maybe not running. Maybe we'll be backing out slowly. The team leaders will make all these decisions. I'm just shooting this.
If I run at all, it'll be towards them, not away from them.
You guys you're going to see my ugly face one time in this whole thing, and that's in the beginning. And at the end when we do the outro.
What's important, whether we run or stand, that we do it together as a team.
Exactly.
Yep. That's
very
right.
true.
Because if you're the one that if we're all told to stand and you're the one that breaks and runs, you're dead.
Yeah.
Because they'll go after that one before they go after
if I have to break and run towards them, that would be to allow y'all to get out. That'd be the only reason I do that.
Absolutely.
But I'm not gonna be running away from them, period.
Well, I think some of us probably can't run that bus, but maybe we'll be backing out slowly. Who knows? It's all going to be situational, and we're going to run over some scenarios. We're going to be there for a day before we start filming. So, and that's going to be all the setup and the teams getting together and talking, getting strategies pinned down. What are we going to do in specific situations? An aggressive encounter is going to be one of those things. So, Rhonda Williams, we covered this, but I'm going to say this one more time before we go. She asked, will there be small reports so we know what's going on? Yes, we will be going live from the field, probably from camp. Someone will. If it's not me, it'll be someone there. We'll be going live, but it's not going to be here. You're going to have to go subscribe to Hidden Existence, because Daniela is going to be presenting that to you guys, and she'll be asking the questions. Yeah, that's Jeff's girlfriend.
I love Daniela, man. I made no bones about it. I love that girl.
Oh, well.
They're probably one of the best friends I got in the world.
Remember, that's Wonder Woman. Remember that.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, remember that's Wonder Woman.
I agree. She certainly is something real good, man.
She's as important to the shows that we do here as anything. Absolutely. And
she's a very good friend. I tell you that, though.
She is definitely greatly appreciated. But hey, it's been a great show. Appreciate you guys coming on. Again, it's the last show Brad and I are going to be doing for a while, probably 3 or 4 weeks. So Daniela will continue doing the researchers report, and obviously we'll be doing the live shows from the field. So thank you guys for coming on here, and we'll be seeing y'all pretty soon. Not too long.
All right, I'm looking forward to it, guys. And Gail, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I look forward to meeting you guys. Definitely.
We'll have a good time.
All right.
I think we got a good group, and it will be fun.
We got a great group. Good to see you again, kid. Very good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too,
Thanks,
Jeff.
everybody.